Hello, welcome to the weekly Shir of Zera Shimshon. My name is Yosef Lange, and we're going to switch up a little bit. It's Gimel Nissen, by the way, Tavshin Pei, and I'm going to switch up a little bit and do something different because Pesach is coming and everybody needs to have some Divrei Torah for Pesach. So on Pesach night, there's a minhag to read Shir HaShirim throughout, and because of the belovedness of God taking out the Jewish people, amongst other things. So I'm going to do a part with Zera Shimshon in Shir HaShirim, which he has, and this will be the first chelik, and I'll break it into two parts so that we can enjoy it slowly, like good food. So the Midrash says in Shir HaShirim Rabbah, and the pasuk in Aleph, Yishokeni minishiko espio ki toim dodechem yayin. Right? Omer Rabbi Yehuda. At the time when the Jewish people heard that I am the Lord your God, Niska Talmud Torah Belivam. The Talmud Torah was pegged, literally like a peg from a tent. It was beat into the hearts of the person. And that's what he means. It was plugged in, and we were learning and we weren't forgetting. When the Jewish people then, after they heard the first two Dibros, right, which is one, right, they came to Moshe and said, look, we can't take this. We were thrown out with our brains here. So they said, you listen and then tell us what you heard, okay? That's the end of the Midrash. Okay, so we're going to be learning. They started learning and they were forgetting. Then there's another part. It says, it sounds like that their sin, quote unquote, was that they asked Moshe Rabbeinu to explain the Torah, to receive the Torah for them, the Asaras HaDibros, and everything would be explained afterwards. Daf Nun Daled Amud Aleph says a little differently. If the first tablets had not been broken, the Torah wouldn't have been forgotten from the Jewish people. So what was it? The whole Kaidam Shir Saluchais Nami Kvar Ba Shecha. But 1 second, they just told Moshe Rabbeinu, like, that was way before the breaking of the tablets. It said, "You speak for us, and then we'll understand it." And they started forgetting then. So what is it? Is it before the breaking of the luchos they started forgetting, or after the breaking of the luchos? Venira letaretz, I can answer this question. The Zera Shimshon said, "The isa laha v'isa laha." It says you have both perspectives in play. That is Shekasav Asara Mamaris. It's a famous Mekubal said in the Asara Mamaris. He says in Chelik Beis, Maimer Chikar Hadin Perg Yidvav. It says that Shekashamru Yisrael LaMoshe, when the Jewish people said to Moshe, Daber ato imano v'nishma, you speak to God and we'll listen. Whereas Kedei shelo yishtachu nitna haTorah leikasiv al luchos ha'evan. So, in order that it shouldn't be forgotten, the Torah was written on luchos ha'evan, right? Stone. Lohaser leiv ha'evan ad kalashan. And in order to remove the hard heart, or the stone heart from the Jewish people. Im kein hashicha ba le'olam alidei shomer l'Moshe daber ata imona. So we see from the Asara Mamaris that forgetfulness came to the world in learning Torah, reference to learning Torah, right? Forgetfulness came to the world because they said, you speak, you listen to what God has to say, and we'll understand. But the fixing, the tikkun, came by the second luchos. The first luchos. So even though Moshe broke them, so now we have being forgetful without any way of fixing it. And And it says there, he explains there, okay, we're going to explain it further. Since there was forgetfulness that came into the world because of this mice that they did, so he had to add to them more Torah. It says, Al pasuk ve'eira vo'eira v'hinem chatasim la'Hashem Elokechem. It's a pasuk in Dvorim Tes. It says, you sin to Hashem, your God. V'yischel Moshe mitztaer al sheshibur asaluches. Moshe Rabbeinu was very aggravated that he broke the tablets. Omar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu, al titztaer. Don't be aggravated. B'rishaynais lahayu al aseres adibros. In the first tablets there was only the 10 Commandments. B'shniyos ani noisin mikra mishnah, and I'm putting in the second tablets, I'm putting both the mikra and the mishnah. Ad kan l'shaynai. That's the end of that. It says v'ayinin hu shabaluchais hayu merumazim kol neviim v'ksuvim ha'mishnah v'agemara. In the luchais, in the tablets, it was hinted everything: prophets, ksuvim, the writings, and the Mishnah and the Gemara. And the Torah was written on the heart of each and every one of us. It says in Lamed Aleph, Nasati Torasi b'kirbam al libam echtavena. He says, I put the Torah in your midst, and on your hearts I will write it. They didn't have to write down the Torah because they were all like Avram Avinu, never had a Torah. His 2 kidneys became like 2 rabbis, big rabbis. I mean, Gedolei Ador, teaching him, and they were coming forth with wisdom all the time. And that would suffice to them to have just the 5 books of Torah, in order to know the dinim ha-mitzvahs. They weren't forgetting. They would understand all the hints. There's a lot of things that are hinted to in the luchais. But after they sinned with the chet ha'egel, there was hidden from them the well springs of Torah, of wisdom. Now he broke the tablets after he saw them do the chet ha'egel, which caused them this forgetfulness. That's why Moshe started being aggravated. Maybe God won't reveal to the Jewish people all the secret wisdoms that were in the first luchais. Even if he does reveal it, maybe it'll be forgotten. Since forgetfulness now is coming into the world. Don't be aggravated. I'm giving them Mikra and Mishnah. It means all the Torah that was hinted to in the first tablets. Even though the Torah might be forgotten, they can go back and learn it. That's how they'll fulfill it in their hands. The only problem they have to do is go back over and over. They have to reveal it, repeat it, and reveal it and repeat it. But in this Torah, this bothersome method, they're going to get rewarded also. For every word you say of Torah is a mitzvah d'oraisa. So the main reason why the forgetfulness came into the world is that they said to Moshe, you listen to God and then transmit it to us and we'll understand it. And that was which day? It was Matan Torah, which is Shavuos. and because of the forgetfulness that God had to increase the prophets, right? The Torah, and then the prophets, and the ksuvim, and the writings, the holy writings, and increase also the Mishnah. Yagdil Torah right there. Zehi Kavanas Rav Yosef. This is the my namesake, right? In Perek, I wish I would be, but Perek Vav Shishi the Etzam Daf Samach Ches in Pesachim Umed Beis. Omer Rabbi Lazar Hakol Maidim Batzeres Beinin Nami Lachem. So the machlekes in the Gemara there about Atzeres Ashuas. The question is, do you need to learn all day, or you need to learn half a day and dedicate half a day to making a Yom Tov meal and drinking? Right? It says, and everybody agrees by Atzeres that you need the lochem. Lochem means for you. You got to stop learning and celebrate. My taima, why is that? The Yom Shenitna by Torah. It's the day that the Torah was given. Okay, so Rav Yosef b'Yom Atzarta Avdelei Egla Tulsa, and the day of Atzeres and Shuas, Rav Yosef made there's a few explanations. What an Egla Tilsa, you had the third egel, the third calf, which is the best of all the calves, and he made it specially for the Rabbanim. Omar I Lav Hay Yoima, the Kagorim. He says, if it wouldn't be for this day, which is the day of Nisina Satira Atzeres, right, Shuas, that caused it, Kama Yosevika Beshuka. How many other Yosefs there are in the marketplace? I mean, the dime a dozen, right? But Isa b'Midrash, it's brought in Midrash Tanchuma in Parshas Kisisa, Shalafi Shaluchais Arishonos Nitnu Mepumbe Upeparhersia. Since the first tablets were given openly by Farhesia in public, Yosef there, Shmois v'Yihi b'Yom HaShlishi b'Yos HaBoker v'Yihi HaKailos HaVrakim. So there was a lot of commotion. The whole world knew what was going on. Mishum hachi shalta b'hem ayin. So they had an ayin hara. V'nishtabru, and the meluchas broke. Ma'ashayin came meluchas arachroina shenitnu b'hatznei b'haseisa. So the second tablets, though, were given hiddenly, only to Moshe Rabbeinu. Over Perek Chi, the brachas, it's a samach dal the domad aleph, ninth Perek in brachas. Amrina, we said Rav Yosef was Sinai. So machlekes, who was greater, if somebody was Oiker Harim and it was Rabbah, or Rav Yosef, and they paskin Rav Yosef, who was Sinai. Sinai means he knew everything. He knew Shahaya Baki b'Mishnayos Abraisis Harbei Kinesina Samihar Sinai. He knew it exactly like it was given at Har Sinai. He was Baki and everything, he memorized everything, which is a big pella because he was also blind. Okay. Lachein b'Yom Atzarta Avdin Le Egla Tilsa the Remois Atar Neviim Ksuvim. So why did he make such a big celebration on Shavuos? Because he was able to remember Torah, Neviim, and Ksuvim, 3 parts. Egla Tilsa, right? That was added in the second group, the second tablets, with the Mishnah. Omar ilav hay yoyma de kalgarim. If it wouldn't be this day, which is Shavuos, that caused me to remember this. Shabbat hashicha ba'olam. That forgetfulness came into the world. If it wouldn't have been for that first day, I would never have gotten the second. That was all caused by the ayin hara. So what's the difference between Rav Yosef and the other chachamim? So bishlema ata sheyesh naida kaychay v'gdula sai b'mishnayos abraisos. So because of the forgetfulness that everybody else had, now my greatness, Rav Yosef's greatness, was that he memorized all the mishnayos and the braisos. Masha'in kenim hu loy haisa loy mishnah v'loy shicha ba'olam. So if there wouldn't have been mishnah and braisos in forgetfulness in the world, az lo haisa nikeres gedula sai. He wouldn't have recognized how great Rabbi Yosef was. Everybody would have been equal. They wouldn't have forgotten anything. That's why Rabbi Yosef Dafka made a big party on Shavuos. Inami, or another way of looking at this, is Lemar she'ein hachi nami. Rabbi Yosef lo haya sameach chas v'shalom al shabbat shicha b'aylam. He's not happy that the forgetfulness came into the world, this was his intention. It was for sure the purpose of forgetfulness came in the first breaking of the tablets, the first tablets, and after there was a gezerah, there was a decree that there should be forgetfulness in the world. There shouldn't be anybody in the whole world that should remember all of his learning. And because the Torah was given on Shavuos, on that day, there was not yet the gezerah of shicha in the world. So there remained in the world this merit, this possibility, this treasure, this jewel that you can, if you spend a lot of time and put a lot of effort, then you can remember. And the gezerah of forgetting only remains with those people that don't put a lot of effort into their learning. And I will continue next time with the second part of this. And the segula comes from Torah well springs in Parshas Vayechi. There's a few more segulas here. There wasn't one in Rabbi Nachman Seltzer's book this week, specifically for this parsha or this topic. So I'll tell you something that I learned in another sefer called the Sidur Shel Shabbos, and he speaks a lot about this. He says there's a mitzvah to make Shabbos longer. It's called Testify Shabbos. This means to take in Shabbos earlier and to end Shabbos later, and thereby turn some of the weekday into Shabbos. Doing so is misugul for parnasa. The Gemara says, "Asay Shabbatcha choyol ve'al titztarich lebriyos." As Mendel of Rimmon of Zecher Tzadik Avracha said, "Asay Shabbatcha choyol," makes your Shabbos in the weekday with the Tosfos Shabbos ve'al titztarich lebriyos, and you won't ever need to ask people for financial help. Halavai. Okay. Similarly, the Lechevitcher Zecher Tzadik Avracha taught, if Bali Batim would listen to me, they would make Tosfos Shabbos, and then they wouldn't ever be lacking throughout the week. Also, the Tolis Yaakov writes in the Seder Shabbos, he writes that when one adds onto Shabbos, Mida Keneged Mida, heaven will add onto his blessings and give him all his needs. The Shabbos itself bestows ruchnias to the Jewish nation, and we earn our gashmias from Tosfos Shabbos. As it states in Breshis, Maimer me'asher shemena lachmi. Me'osher, right, shemena lachmi. Reb Noach of Lechevitz explains that Osher are the three letters of the Aleph base before Shabbos. The letters before the word Shabbos, Aleph, Shin, and Reish. Thus, the pasuk is implying me'asher from before Shabbos. Therefore, the Tosfos Shabbos is shmeina lachmei. One earns a fat, quote unquote, right, and satisfying parnasa. The next words are vehu yitain ma'adani melech. This means that who is the Shabbos itself gives ma'adani melech the king's pleasures, which are ruchnias, spiritual pleasures. Have a wonderful week.